got punched by an owl.
What is that? Bloody massive pelican.
What is wrong with this boy?
Hello. This literally is the best zoo. Hello and welcome to Adam and Craig Do Stuff, where today we're doing Pairi Daiza. Have you ever seen a zoo so impressively beautiful? Literally everything is themed here.
Huge amount of theming.
Yeah, it's a huge zoo spread out into many different areas. I think there's 9, is there? And each area is individually themed, and they're themed perfectly, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're currently in the kingdom of Ganesha.
Ganesh.
Which is themed to Southeast Asia. So it was a bloody climb to get up here.
It was, yeah. I'm a little bit knackered now.
Highest
Yeah.
point, is it? But it's absolutely insane. It's so authentically well done.
Look at the views that you get from up here. Like I said, this is the highest point of the zoo. So there's the old abbey there, which is what the grounds were formerly.
And there's times where, like, you could literally believe that you're outside of Belgium, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That well done.
Yeah.
In some places.
Ah, we've just seen the elephants right at the back there. Look, they're walking the elephants in the morning. Oh, that's so cool. They're all doing that thing where they hold each other's tails like in the Jungle Book. And I literally only thought that was in cartoons, but there they are doing it. And they do actually walk the elephants out of their enclosure in the middle of the day, down to the lake to have a bath. So they do that in the middle of the afternoon. So we're definitely going to go and check that out.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to cover Kingdom of Ganesh today. We've also got Land of Origins, which is the African themed area. We've got
Australian area, what's that called?
Can't remember what the Australian area is called. And then there's Land of the Rising Sun,
which is their newest area.
And that's themed around Japan, isn't it? And there's a bucket list thing that we want to do because there is a cocktail with a view and a half, isn't there? In this
A cocktail bar with a view and a half, yeah.
So we're going to go and do that later. Incredible it is.
There's not a lot of action at the moment in Kingdom of Ganesh, so we will come back later. But the white tigers were out. They was having their breakfast, weren't they?
They were indeed. They're absolutely beautiful. I love a white tiger. What type were they? Bengal?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because Bengal are the only types of tiger that are white.
Are they?
I'm sure that's correct. Yeah, I'm sure I read that somewhere in another zoo. I must have read it at West Midlands, because that's the only other place I've seen white tiger.
I just assumed that any of them could become white.
No, I'm sure it's just Bengal tiger. I mean,
there you go.
I might fact check that later, but yeah, I'm sure that's true.
So I have just fact checked that, and apparently it's correct. White tigers are always Bengal. So there you go.
I do remember my stuff when it comes to animal research.
Yeah. People say I'm good with animals, but this guy, unbelievable. So we're just now, because not much is going on in Kingdom of Ganesh at the moment, we'll wait for the animals to wake up there. We're going to go over to Land of Origins, which is the African-themed area.
Yes. So we'll see their second species of elephant here, which is the African elephant.
Who would have known?
Yeah. You. But yeah, I think this is the only zoo we've been to where they've had both species of elephant.
It may have been, yeah. I
yeah.
couldn't tell you because my memory is not good. Your memory is that of an elephant. And it's just like, even just going between lands, there's such long walkways between each one because it's so big and there's so much theming. In fact, they seem to purposely make the paths so that they weave through the lands, don't they, rather than just like going straight from...
Whoa! Careful stairs.
One thing I've noticed about, I don't know if it's just Pairi Daiza or Belgium in general, but the steps are so steep, aren't they?
Yeah, they are so
The
steep,
glute
actually.
workout I'm getting this week. Yeah, and I think that just gives it a more immersive feel, doesn't it? Because you do have to sort of wander through these little gardens and stuff to get from one to the other. I tell you what, I've never seen a this beautiful.
I just saw a cheetah. Oh, I've just seen a few
cheetahs.
cheetahs. Yeah, so we've just entered Africa now, land of origins.
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 Wow, we've just spotted over here. They've got some sort of like smoking volcano over there. Do you know what area that's in?
I think that's where the gorillas are.
Oh, what area is
Yeah.
that in?
That's still in land of origins.
Land of Origins.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Well, hopefully we can get a good view of that then. That's really cool.
I think you can walk through the volcano because that's
No.
yeah, because that's part of the gorillas indoor enclosure.
Some of the sections you walk through are so incredibly well themed. We're just sort of walking down at the moment. It's a bit treey at the moment, but we're going down this little African village, isn't there?
Yeah.
With some sort of mud hut style buildings. It looks amazing. The Pairi Daiza, there is literally theming in every single corner. They've got these artifacts on the walls everywhere, and they've got alcoves here with different artifacts in, which they've got signs for as well to tell you exactly what everything is. I think you said most of them are genuine, aren't they?
Some of the stuff they've got here is genuine, yeah. Like the seaplane on the water is genuine.
Oh, okay. And so we are inside one of the African village huts at the moment. You'll see, we'll come out in a minute. Oh God, I nearly fell again then.
I mean, that's not a genuine African mud hut because we're not in Africa.
No, but I mean the artifacts.
I'm joking.
Even the toilets are inside a mud hut. They've even had to
Yeah.
separate the toilets into two separate ones because they didn't want to spoil. Do you know what I mean? They didn't want to make it bigger than it
Yeah.
would actually be, which I love. The attention to detail is incredible. And you can see, look, the African village that we're walking through.
Yes, with some red river hogs behind us, little cuties.
It's fantastic. It really is. Like everything is themed. The toilets are themed, literally everything, except for the bins. But they are bug hotels, the bins. So, you know.
Some bins are themed.
Are they?
Yeah, some of them
Oh, they've got those weird faces, haven't they?
Oh, God,
yeah.
yeah.
Actually, there's a themed bin right here. So they do themed bins. I lied.
And themed lampposts as well.
Themed lighting. Every single detail is thought out. And they hide the speakers, look. That's a rock. There's none of this chuck a speaker down and throw some camo over it and hope nobody notices, is there? I've just noticed here it says that the food is themed as well. They do African food.
Yeah.
Oh, I just really hurt my elbow.
Went to an African restaurant at Port of Ventura, didn't we, when we went to Hotel Batamba?
Fantasyland.
Sorry, Fantasyland, yeah.
What is wrong with this boy, honestly? Yes, we stayed at Hotel Matamba and they had themed food there. It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
it was really good. We've never been to an African restaurant before, but
No, you don't get them often though, do you?
No, you don't.
You don't see African
No.
food a lot, but it was really good. Now look at this for a lemur enclosure.
it looks like it's still in an African village, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, we kind of are. That's kind
Yeah.
that's kind of the idea.
No, I mean, they kept the theme going into the enclosure.
Oh, there's water running down that bit as well because I just saw it. I just saw the
Comes down these...
red ruff shakes them off.
Yeah.
But there is literally. I'm trying to remember all of the different types of lemur because there's
so
quite a
it's
few in here.
4 so far.
So there's red ruffed up here. There's obviously ring-tailed.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Black and white ruffed.
And we've seen gentle lemur.
I have seen gentle lemur. There's a
In
school
fact,
trip on as well, so I
yeah.
do apologise for the noise.
In fact, we saw a gentle lemur start on a ringtail.
Yeah. Oh, there's a
One's
ringtail
got
with a baby. Oh, it's just gone inside, so you won't see that. Oh, hang on, there's one coming down here. Oh, there he is. They are confident lemurs in here. Where have you gone? Are you there?
Yeah.
No, you, I mean.
Oh, I thought you were talking
They're
about lemur.
confident lemurs in here, look. They're not bothered by people at all.
Oh, there's a black and white ruffed up there as well, above your shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
There's
there's a rope.
one above us.
A rope above us.
Above us as well.
Yeah. I see a gentle lemur there.
Do you know what? There's actually tons of lemurs.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look, they're all coming over. There's tons of them, they're everywhere. This one's come back to say hi, look. Say hello, say subscribe to Adam and Craig Do Stuff. Yeah, when I was saying they're confident, they are very confident. They staff around as well, and they don't seem to...
Oh, it's on you now.
Oh, here we go, hello. They seem to be quite happy to let the lemurs climb on you. In the UK ones, they'd get them off, but there you go. That's the difference with European health and safety for you. Oh, it's really soft, actually. Hello. What are you up to? It seems quite comfortable. I'm not sure it's ever going to leave me, to be honest.
Oh, should we take it home with us?
I could be here for hours.
The gate to the lemur walk through, is that just a small gate here?
But they can climb along all of this, and this leads to this roof. I
Yeah.
don't really know.
How to keep them in,
I
yeah.
don't know what stops them from getting out.
Unless they probably won't walk on here because it's...
I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
metal, the floors are
They've
metal grade,
whatever they've
so-
done, they've designed it really well because
Yeah.
like back home you have to go through the air gates, don't you?
You do.
Open one, then you open the next one. Like how they've stopped them from escaping, I don't know. Walking up into this bit, we keep talking about how good the theming is. We're in this sort of little village where it's all on stilts. Can you see?
Yeah, in the water.
Look at how good this looks. It's so cool that they have these little bits for you to wander through. Oh, there's theming everywhere. Look at these carvings. Ah, so it turns out this little stilt village leads you to the Pygmy Hippos.
Yeah, I don't
Which
know where they
we
are.
can't
but-
see at the moment.
And they share an enclosure with pelicans.
They aren't on the map at the moment, so I don't know if they've... Oh, sorry, I walked into you. If they've been moved or whether they're just not out at the
They
moment.
could be under the water.
But
Under the water.
I love how just amazing this whole place looks.
I found the pygmy hippos. They're here. Having a little swim.
Oh. Wow.
So we're going to go onto a ship now, aren't we?
Yes.
But
It's not exciting, is it?
yeah, it's not just any ship. It's a reptile house inside a ship.
And considering how well themed everything else is here,
Yeah.
it'd be really interesting to see what it looks like on the inside
Mm-hmm.
because some of the levels of theming here is insane. And reptile houses normally are just sort of glass,
Yeah,
glass
yeah.
walls.
And the aquarium here is impressive. So let's see how impressive this is. You can do it.
Oh, that is ugly. We've just reached the tarantula section, so I'm going to try not to look. There's some snakes and some lizards on this side, so I'm going to focus on this side and leave them to themselves. There are so many tarantulas here. There's literally pretty much all of these windows on this side are different types of tarantula. There's loads of them. It's freaking me out. Don't film it, I'm the one that's got to edit this.
Oh my god, that reptile house was amazing, wasn't it? It was
yeah.
huge.
Been in there for
was
three
it,
business
yeah,
days.
it was in there for ages. And I thought only the outside would be looking like a ship. But on the inside, it was all ship-like, wasn't it?
It starts off looking very shippy, isn't it? With the with snakes in the sort of engine room sort of thing at one point.
Yeah,
wasn't there,
yeah.
and then as you get further on, some of the enclosures are a bit more themed. There was some bit with tons of turtles.
Yeah, there was loads of turtles
Tons
in
of
there.
them. And there was one bit, the really big enclosure with a sort of temple-y sort of theme, where there was like loads of, I can't remember what they were now. Were they iguanas?
Oh, iguanas,
Iguanas,
yes,
turtles,
iguanas.
and there was
And
a
a caiman. Caiman as well, yeah. There's quite a load of mixed species habitats, weren't they? There was one that had python, I think a python, with birds and turtles. That's
Yes.
something we've never seen
Yes,
before.
yeah.
And also, there was a corridor full of tarantulas.
Yeah, I spoke about that whilst you
Yeah.
were. There was loads of them. There was absolutely tons of tarantulas.
I'd never seen...
Oh my god, what's this?
What is that? That's cute. We're in, I think we've entered the... Yeah, we have entered the Australian bit. It's like a small kangaroo-looking
Oh,
thing.
it's not often we discover an animal that we don't
No.
know, but that's very exciting.
Yeah, it looks like a tiny kangaroo thing. We'll show you it. We found out what it is. It's a greater forest wallaby. Never heard of that type of wallaby
heard of
before.
it, never seen it
Never.
before.
No.
That's always very exciting.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was enclosure. I thought it was just a nice little garden bit, to be
Yeah.
honest.
So cute, though. That was exciting, seeing the greater forest wallaby, but we're also going to see another Australian animal, hopefully, that we've never seen before, a
we?
Tasmanian devil.
Oh, we have not
yes,
seen
we've
those
never
before.
seen a Tasmanian devil.
No, I do know that they look nothing like the Looney Tunes, but
Well, we actually saw a roadrunner yesterday, and that looked nothing like the roadrunner.
absolutely nothing like the Roadrunner. Speaking of which, we've just found its enclosure, haven't we?
Didn't even realise we'd walked into its enclosure.
Let's focus it. Tasmanian devil. And, I mean, there are wallabies over there, and there's kangaroos around there, so do we think it's all in the same enclosure?
Possibly, but I didn't expect them to have a carnivore in with them.
They do have some really good mixed exhibits here,
Yeah,
though, don't they? They really do. Kangaroo Joey!
Oh, it looks like they've got two types of kangaroo. Because they've got ones that are grey and ones that are more...
Does it say anyway? We need to find a sign to see what we want on there, though.
emu.
I was a bit too zoomed in then, but the emu just came for us, didn't it? Oh, it's coming back. We haven't caught the train yet either, but that goes
No,
right
yeah.
round the zoo, doesn't it?
It does.
It gets really close to some of the animal enclosures. In fact, it goes right past the rhinos, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes right past rhinos and it goes past the Indian elephants as well.
Did you say that there were some areas that you can only see on the steam train?
Yeah, I think there are. Yeah, because the elephant enclosure is so huge, there's some of it that's only viewable from the train.
Hmm.
And it also goes past the bison as well.
Let's see if we can get a ride on it then.
Look at the size of these bloody massive pelicans.
And
That
they're
is
so
massive.
close.
Yeah,
So
so close. It's an Australian pelican. So we're in a Australian bird walkthrough, which is cool. I don't think we've ever been on a walkthrough with pelican before.
No.
But they've got
Budgies as well. Budgies you don't
No, you don't
Get
see
in.
them often.
walk through that often.
Laura
Lorikeets
Keats
over here.
over here. And also they've got kookaburra. I mean, I can see it right over there.
Is it in the walkthrough? I don't know.
I don't know.
Ah! We said about the pink spoonbill, we found a blue kookaburra.
Oh yeah, blue kookaburra. From one walkthrough exhibit to another, this is a really exciting one. It's Penguin Beach. And, oh, would it be on the tree?
All gone there now. Also, considering some of the noises that are coming out of this little cave here, I think we should probably give the penguins over here some privacy. There's some more this way that we can talk about.
Oh, here's some. And you can also... oh, there's just rope here. So the harbour seals are here as well. So they must be walk through too, the harbour seals.
Yeah, if they ever come out.
If you ever come out. Penguin Beach was awesome. I really enjoyed that and seeing the harbour seals, but don't try and get too close to the penguins for a selfie. We saw one man and woman getting attacked by an African penguin, didn't we?
I mean, they're not exactly in hospital now, are they? Penguins don't do a lot of damage, but they did get pecked a little bit.
And now we're entering Land of the Rising Sun, which is...
Islands.
Sorry, Islands of the Rising Sun, because it's on islands.
There are 4 different islands that all have different names. Don't ask me what they are, I can't remember that much. But there are 4 different islands here, and each island's got a different set of animals on, as well as, again, with all islands here in Pairi Daiza, there's different artifacts and bits of theming as well on each island.
Yes. It looks like this first bit we're in has got tortoises and chickens.
As well. They like their rocks and crystals, don't they?
They really do, yeah, they're everywhere.
Like polished sort of crystally rocks. But they've made a turtle out of these rocks here. That's the level of detail we want. Just as we were enjoying the tranquility, as school trips come and joined us. We might wait until they've passed. So this is the kind of thing we were talking about. They've got this little garden here, and then they've got a description here that tells you all about it. It's really good at telling you about the different cultures for the lands that they're based on. It's really good. I really like that.
Yeah,
it's a nice touch.
On pousse pas les enfants.
Il l'a perdu.
Wow. Watching the elephants have their bath was so fun, wasn't it?
I don't know anywhere else you'd be able to see
No,
that.
that's so cool.
Phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's trained them to
Trumpet.
Yeah. Scream. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they've also trained them so that they'll squirt as well. I mean, to be fair, a few times they were doing it without being asked.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've trained them so that they'll squirt, and he was just wetting all the kids. What a good job that would be.
But that was such a good thing to watch, wasn't it?
That was just incredible.
Yeah.
What an experience that is to be able to see that. That's amazing. I absolutely love that.
So we are now going to a really cool cocktail bar that they've got here.
Indeed.
I think it'd be very cool in temperature as well, won't it?
Yes, it might be.
But
Probably the
it's
best
probably good.
cocktail bar we'll ever go to.
Yes, I think so too. This is a selection of cocktails, and this is the view. I have gone for a cocktail called Le Grand Bleu. My pronunciation is probably terrible.
That was terrible.
Yeah, and what did you go for?
Lemon Chaud,
Lemon Chaud.
which is... Oh, sorry, I don't know.
I can't actually remember what is in this other than blue caruso and pineapple.
Strong but delicious.
Oh yeah,
So good.
that is delicious.
Right, so it's now the next day, as you can see from the change of clothes, and we're going to go do the steam train because it goes all the way around the zoo and it covers some areas that are not that easy to see from the land, I believe, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're currently walking through the Middle Kingdom, which is all this lovely Chinese theming here. We did this side of the zoo when we first arrived, so there's a separate vlog on that, including seeing...
First time seeing panda.
Ever in the world.
Ever. That's so cool.
So yeah, there's already a video on the channel for that. It also includes Last Frontier and Land of the Cold as well, so go and check that out because they are also beautiful, beautiful areas. Sadly, you're not actually allowed to film during the show, which is a weird rule. I've never known that before, but they did an announcement at the beginning asking people not to film, we think.
Yeah. They didn't do an English announcement.
Yeah, the announcement was only in English and Dutch, but we think they were asking people not to film.
Yeah, because nobody was, apart from one person, and I think she got spoken to.
Yeah.
But that was such a good show, wasn't it?
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Not that I doubted them for a second, but that was just something else. That was incredible. That was just amazing. It's mainly birds.
Mainly
isn't
birds,
it?
yeah. But such an array of birds, wasn't it?
I've never seen that many varieties of birds flying together in
Well,
one
maybe
show before.
wild.
I don't even think they've got as many as they have here.
Mm.
And like even just as they were flying birds around, like it's complete contrast to like UK shows where it's like one owl, one hawk. What do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
every
they had
single
all
bird,
sorts.
there was like 4 or 5 of them at once. When
They had
flying
vultures, owls, hawks, eagles, storks.
and so low,
Yeah.
so low over people's heads. In fact, at one point I got punched by an owl.
Yeah.
They're literally so low down to you.
Oh, and they even had a kookaburra.
Yeah, one of the poor guests got hit by a dead chick. They literally just throw the chicks into the food into the seating area, don't they? So that the birds are hopping over the seats and stuff.
And they even brought a collie out, didn't they, to round up some goats.
Oh God, I forgot
was
about that.
cute.
Yeah.
And then they had a miniature horse, so small,
Tiny.
a tiny little horse, doing like some little like show horse stuff.
But yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. And do you know what as well? There was no talking as well during it. Do you know what I mean? They just got on, they just brought the animals out, flew them, walked them, herded them, whatever they were doing at that particular time. They just got them out, got them in. It was just,
So good to see.
Wow.
Like there was points where there was just so much going on at once you didn't know where to look.
no, my neck hurts now.
Yeah.
Or whiplash.
It has been the most incredible 3 days. This literally is the best zoo we have ever been to. And if you are a zoo enthusiast or you just love going to a zoo, you have to come here.
Must do. It's the best. It really is.
Really is.
I feel quite emotional.
Yeah.
To go home.
Same.
I just can't imagine waking up tomorrow and not having polar bears outside our room.
Yeah.
Like, it's just been so good.
It's got some of the most amazing animals we've ever seen. So many animals we've never, ever seen before.
So many mixed enclosures.
Yes.
The theming is insane.
It is.
It's absolutely
It really
unbelievable.
is. Like they think of everything. Like each area is so different from another. Like everything from benches to bins
We've been
to
touring
toilets.
the toilets just to see,
Yeah.
to see which our favourite toilet is. I think the ones in the Kingdom of Ganesha might be my favourite. I honestly don't think any zoo will ever be the same now. Doing this, I really don't.
No.
It's just, Belgium is so lucky to have this place. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's not even like it's just a bit better than some of the zoos that we've been to. Like, it's just the step up. Like, it's in a league that just
really
is not
is.
matched by anything else. It
Not been
really
to
is.
Anywhere like this before.
No, I think the closest we've ever done is Biopark in Valencia, and this is just even still on an absolute off the scale.
Yeah, and it is a place that we definitely will be coming back to
At
some point again.
Hopefully we'll
Definitely.
have the money to stay in another one of the lodges because wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know where that money's coming from, but you know what? We'll find it somewhere, won't we? If you haven't already, go and check out the first vlog we did from Pairi Daiza. Go check out the Polar Bear Lodge. We've also got some theme parks we're doing in Belgium as well. So subscribe to us for all of your zoo and theme park content, UK, international. Halloween's coming up as well. Thank you for watching. We're very tired. We'll see you next time we do stuff.